Hello and welcome to the PGCE in Secondary Education here at the Faculty of Education at Manchester Metropolitan University. My name is Ellie Overland. I am the programme leader for the Secondary PGCE, and this video gives you an overview of the whole course and the full range of subjects that we offer, but you can find a lot more subject specific information as well on our website and from speaking to our subject tutors. We welcome applications from anyone in their final year of their undergraduate degree who is looking into going into teaching after they graduate, but we also welcome a huge diverse range of applications, and we have people who are career changers, people who've been working in different jobs and are at various stages in their life. So we have a really diverse range of applications here in this course. At the Faculty of Education, we are a really large provider of initial teacher education, and we've been running for a long time, initially right back in Didsbury in Manchester, and we are ranked really highly globally in terms of our education provision, and we're widely recognised across the Northwest. We have alumni in pretty much every school, I would say, and lots of people train with us and go on to be wonderful leaders in education. We offer a huge range of subject specialisms, the full spectrum of subjects you would find in secondary education. We're the second largest teacher education centre in the UK, so you will see that most subject areas have got a really large cohort and a strong subject specialist staff as well to support you. All of the staff here at the Faculty of Education have been teachers themselves and are also experts in their field. Many of them are involved in research and have also written books within their own subject area. And our building, which there was a photo of it on that first slide, is a bespoke education building offering a huge range of resources and facilities for all different subject specialisms. So we've got science labs, we've got sports facilities, we've got food technology rooms and so on. So it's a really well established and diverse faculty that you would become a part of. At the university, in our faculty, our course is a one-year course and it's linked to the latest research. So we also have a research institute within the faculty, and we use the latest research to inform our teaching. You will develop your own sense of professionalism and what it means to be a teacher, and we have a wide range of teaching placements, which I will come on to in a moment. We also think about teaching in a supportive role also once you've finished the PGCE. So we have the MTeach, which is a very new master's programme. We also have other master's programmes as well that you might want to join at a later date once you've completed your PGCE. And we really support teachers once they are our alumni and they are working in schools in terms of developing their continuing professional development themselves, and should they want to continue into further education. So we are at the stage here of initial teacher education, ITE, and we offer the postgraduate route in secondary. Once you've completed that, you then become an NQT, a newly qualified teacher. And we are currently involved in the ECF, the Early Career Framework, to help you and support you with that. We also have an online course for our graduates as they complete their PGCE and move into their schools. And then also, as I mentioned before, we have our master's programmes and we have lots of different CPD available to support you as you progress through your career. Before you even start, we offer support. So a lot of this comes in the form of our subject knowledge enhancement courses. Now, there is a list of the subject areas that we currently offer subject knowledge enhancement courses in. I have to say there is a caveat with these. So the Department for Education the DFE, is currently undergoing a spending review, and at the time that I am recording this, we don't know for definite what that spending is going to look like. So these will be confirmed by subject tutors, and I suggest if you're interested in doing a pre-course subject knowledge enhancement course, they're brilliant courses to get involved in, that you discuss that at interview when you are talking to your subject tutors who'll be interviewing you then. So the PGCE programme, like I said before, it's 1 year. You begin in September. Now, the start date is not totally confirmed yet because obviously we're in a kind of evolving situation, and because exams have been put back, the university start date might be put back slightly, but it will be in September. You will spend at least 120 days on placement. That's a Department for Education recommendation of the number of days. There might be a slight variation on that depending on what the COVID situation looks like next year. But what we're doing at the moment is some student teachers are also teaching online as well as face-to-face in schools. So it will be 120 days teaching, even if some of that ends up being remote or in a slightly different way of working to how we've done in the past. You will also have some experience in primary, and we have links with our primary schools as well so that you can see the transition, and also looking at post-16 and how children transition from Key Stage 4 into Key Stage 5. You will be linked to 2 different schools, so we're really well placed in Manchester because we've got a really diverse range of schools that we work with. And we've also got some that are further out that are perhaps more leafy and suburban schools, so you will have that different experience. You will also do written assignments. We mark these at master's level, and you gain 60 credits at master's level when you complete the PGCE. And should you want to go on to a master's degree in education afterwards, then they will actually contribute towards that master's degree programme. So this is our calendar. As I've already mentioned, we're in a state of flux because of the COVID situation. So there's slight variations going on, but essentially you have 2 long placements. One which starts in the autumn term and runs till just after Christmas, and then another one that runs in the spring through into the summer term. Prior to that, the first few weeks I'm in university, and we do lots of face-to-face sessions with you, particularly in the practical subjects, so that you get experience in labs or experience on the sports field or experience in the drama studio or whatever your subject area is. We also pride ourselves on how well we work with our mentors in schools, and they support a gradualised programme. So you don't just land in school and are expected to teach on the first day. You get a chance to to observe other teachers. You will gradually start to pick up classes when you're ready. They will support you with your lesson planning. They will help you in developing your resources and evaluating your lessons and identifying targets and ways to improve for your next set of teaching. So that's the year as an overview, and the course finishes late June, early July, around that sort of time. From that point, you are qualified. You have what we call QTS, which means you are then free to work in a school. And we do have graduates who will go straight from the end of the course right into working in school, even before the summer holidays begin. I'm just going to move on there. Right, so the units that we've got 3 taught units. Subject pedagogy runs all the way through the year, and we really push the importance of knowing your subject. We develop subject specialists here, and we have subject specialist staff, and we're very proud of that. It's a really strong feature of the course. And you will be on the course with other specialists in your subject. You get to work together. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of pooling of ideas, sharing of resources, all of those sort of things. So the subject pedagogy unit supports your own subject knowledge development, but also your understanding of pedagogy. So how you get your subject knowledge that you've got into the children that you are teaching. And we call that process pedagogy. So that unit really focuses on that, and that goes all the way through the year. We also have a unit called Critical Studies, and that picks up really important issues that are current in education. So, for example, inclusivity and diversity, behaviour management, supporting pupils with special educational needs or disabilities. So that unit brings together different research, different experiences in school, different experiences in your own education, and make sure that you're developing this kind of criticality, this ability to analyse what's actually going on in the education system and what part you will play in that yourself as an educator. The third unit that we have is reflection on professional development. And this unit really supports you in unpicking and evaluating your own development as you progress through the course. And it's not just a case of evaluating your own teaching, but it's also thinking about research that you've engaged with. It's thinking about the process of your development, how you intellectually develop in your understanding of education. And it asks you to engage with some own personal written reflections and supports you to bring that into a piece of analytical academic writing. So those 3 units contribute towards your final grade, towards those master's credits that we talked about that you conclude the PGCE with. What we're looking at for our applicants is we are looking at people who are ready to start their journey as a teacher. So there's lots of things that we can support you with in developing those skills, but we're also looking for your application to reflect how you are already starting to develop some of these skills. So what is your existing subject knowledge? What sort of things have you done? What sort of things have you looked at to ensure that you are developing your subject knowledge yourself and you're being able to link that with the current education curriculum? What's your interest in young people? So we have lots of people who may have already worked in schools, who may have been a volunteer, may have worked with sports clubs, may have been a youth worker, all sorts of different backgrounds. But how do you know that you want to work with young people? What's your interest in working with young people? We're looking at people who are professional, who are resilient, who can be flexible, who have got the aptitude to be able to complete their assignments at master's level alongside doing a placement. It is quite a big ask, it's quite a tough course. Also who have got tolerance, who've got excellent communication skills and confidence, so that actually they're going to have a presence in the classroom. So we will support you with all of these in your journey, but these are the sort of things that you need to be thinking about when you apply. How are you going to show your potential in an interview and an application? What we also do is we support you in terms of your employability. So we support all of our students in applying for jobs and securing their first teaching post once they've completed their PGCE. And we do have lots of students each year who actually secure posts in their placement school. So where they were on teaching practice as part of the course, they then go on there to get a job and become an NQT. So we work with our partnership schools to identify vacancies, to help you in making sure that you are ready for your interviews, you are ready as an NQT, so that once you make that transition yourself to being a bit more independent in the classroom, to having a lot more classes, that you're ready and that we've done everything that we can to make sure that you're able to take that role on. You have lots of support while you're still at university, so you will have a personal tutor who will be a specialist in your subject area. Like I said, there will also be fellow trainees on your course who are subject specialists, and through the units in critical studies and RPD, you also get to meet student teachers in other subject areas, and that really enriches your experience because they might put a slant on something that you might not have thought of before. You have lots of online support. So we have our Moodle sites, which have a huge raft of resources for you. Sometimes we get complaints there's too much, but we have lots of support there for you. This year we've also had a lot of online teaching for our students, and we may find that is the model next year as well, that we have a blended approach with some face-to-face and some online teaching. We also have the wider university support. So all of the university systems like the library, like the Student Resource Centre, the student hubs, disability support, the student union, all of those you are entitled to access whilst you're on the PGCE. You also then will have support in school. So we have a very specific way that we work with schools. We have mentors who we train, who work very closely with us. You will have a subject mentor who's in your own subject area. And then you will also have a professional mentor who looks after those subject mentors and looks after all the student teachers in that school. They will help you and guide you in your support, and the school will also provide you with professional issues sessions. So, for example, if you were looking at children with special educational needs, the school will also provide you with some additional sessions around that, probably introducing their specialist staff who can come and support you. So there's that side of support alongside the university. We have partners all over the Northwest. So this is a list. It's not by no means exhaustive. We've got lots of different schools that we work with. We try to place you within a reasonable geographic location, so you've not got too much of a travel. We say that the outside limit of travel would be 90 minutes. It is very, very rare that students are travelling for 90 minutes to get to their placement. So it's much closer than that usually. But we want to make sure that you get contrast in placements. So it may be that one of your placements has a bit more of a travel than the other one. We support our schools. We have really good communications, really good partnerships with our schools, and we work with those mentors regularly to make sure that they are supporting you with your university work. Vice versa, we're supporting the schools with the placement work. So in terms of assessment, you've got your 3 formal assignments. Each of those are linked to the taught units that I mentioned before. You will also have your teaching experience file. Now that is digital, so we don't have to carry around big files, but we have a digital file that your mentors in school and your tutors in university can access. And you will put all of your evidence over the year in that file so that we can keep monitoring it. So it will be things like your lesson plans and your resources, it will be your reflections, it will be your subject knowledge audit, all of those things sit in that folder. We also then have something called the Progression and Achievement Document, which we call the PAD, and you'll hear that all the time. That is your formal assessment document that sits with you all the way through the year, that your tutors and your mentors fill in to make sure that you are on track and you're making the right amount of progress at every juncture along the way. We also use the Manchester Metropolitan University curriculum, or we call it the Manchester Metropolitan University curriculum, and that includes those taught units, and it includes the teacher standards and the core content framework. Both of those are nationally available documents that are produced by the Department for Education, the teacher standards and the core content framework. So if you want to look at those in a bit more detail and how your teaching in the classroom is actually assessed using those, then I recommend that you have a look at those, because it's quite interesting and it gives you an idea of some of the things that you're going to be doing. So these are the people that we are looking for. As I mentioned before, there are certain skills that we want in your own subject area. We want your own subject knowledge, your soft skills, your confidence, those sort of things. We also have sort of minimum requirements that we have to meet. So we are looking at a degree in a 2-2 or above in your subject area that you are going to teach. Now, sometimes there is a slight variation. So you might have a degree that covers a lot of the subject, but not all of it. So what you need to do is you need to make clear in your application where the gaps in your subject knowledge are and how you are going to address them. So that's really important to think about your degree and how that's going to link to the actual curriculum subject you're going to be teaching. We have to have a GCSE in English and Maths of a C or above, or a 4 or above, and you will be asked to produce proof for those. So some people need to find their certificates. They had them a long time ago and they're in the bottom of a drawer somewhere. So just be mindful of that. You will need to produce those certificates. We also recommend that you have some kind of experience. Now, I know at the moment it's very difficult because of the COVID situation for people to get into schools. So definitely doing the online course will help. But also you might have prior experience of working with young people, which you can talk about in your application. We're also looking for you to be professional, to have a high level of commitment, and those things that I mentioned earlier. There are bursaries available for some subjects, not all the subjects. Those are determined by the Department for Education, not by us. So they are awarded centrally by them. If you go onto the Get Into Teaching website, you can see all the details of the different bursaries that are available in the shortage subjects. If you go onto the Future Learn platform, we have a course called Preparing for Teaching, and we have made that course with our alumni and with one of our partnership schools, so you actually get to see videos of things that are going on in school and lots of information about how to apply and some of the things that you might want to think about before you apply. So for example, one of the sessions looks at what a good teacher is and what makes a good teacher, and actually some of the things that we think might make a good teacher actually might be quite low down the list, and there might be other things. So it can get you to think about your perspective on education and how you apply. So I really recommend that course. It's totally free. There is a fee at the end if you want the certificate. Don't worry about any of that. Just do the course. The course is what's important. And if you have done the course before you apply, it's useful to mention that as well in your application. So that video kind of concludes the summary of all of the different courses. What I recommend you do is have a look at your subject area on the website, because there's more information there. If you can, attend some of our open events. So these are virtual. You'll be able to dial in, talk to different tutors and ask any questions that you may want to. And if you can't do that, then there is also a form to fill in where you can ask questions, and somebody from our recruitment team can get back to you with those answers. And I look forward to hearing from you and to receiving your applications in the near future.